proving ground against the relentless and reinvented Kamal. Old Khabib Nurmagomedov is seen by Fight Game insiders to have a bright proof. But the three-time Russian combat sambo champion will start hitting lightweight with a stellar wrestling background. Shalorus like his job done before the final bell sounds. Coming up next.
Well, Kenny, just as he did at the weigh-in, Khabib Nurmagomedov really is a wrestling mecca, and he's just the latest.
Absolutely, Nurmagomedov comes from what is traditionally, really, they always turn out the best wrestlers year after year for wrestling. So, put that together. This is a kid who comes from.
And Nurmagomedov drew the eye of our UFC matchmaker. Again, you've been hearing the theme all night here in Nashville. We got a whole lot of finishers up to 16-0.
And look at his wins. I mean, 6 wins.
Two-time world sambo champion. And that included an absolutely scintillating fight with Jamie.
Changed up his diet, came in a lot lighter than he's used to. Trained with a lot of guys who he says has really been pushing him in training, and he's saying people day in and day out. And he's training with some great coaches.
And Hardonk was giddy when I spoke to him during the week. He's excited about Shalorus. And that man, Kamal Shalorus, 3-0-1 in his W. He looked a lot different this week, Kenny. He has slimmed down, made some major changes to his diet.
From Dagestan, Russia, which is traditionally it's the Persian style of wrestling. It's the perhaps love to strike, love to throw down.
Shalorus, the second before making the eventual cut down to 155, and we'll see if that pays dividends against Nurmagomedov. So late bloomer, turned pro in 2008, 39 years old.
And when the action begins,
Nurmagomedov and Kamal Shalorus, and just want to point out off the top, so certainly expect some sort of adjustment period.
As we know, just the strategy of not being the angles completely different. Shalorus trading with his opponents, but definitely fighters who come from an excellent sambo background. And interesting that Shalorus is actually switching his stances repeatedly, going.
Saw an earlier right hand was slipped by Nurmagomedov. We'll see how he.
Nurmagomedov has to keep this cage, and this is where that inexperience in the cage could be a factor.
Well, and if you want to draw the eye of the UFC brass, and here he is as we approach the halfway point here in round.
He will throw in some unorthodox techniques and definitely throw a fighter off. Try to throw Shalorus off, and that was a big kick that definitely hurt.
Can finish.
Caught him on the way in, and look at this brutal ground attack.
And Shalorus in survival mode here. We'll see how much the Russian has left.
To his feet, recompose himself. He has it hook and trying to keep him on his back. Switches to his position. He's always looking to advance and puts his.
And you're right, does so with relative ease. Very fluid is the Russian.
Shalorus did a great job of getting back to his feet.
He's sticking his chin right in there, and as you might expect,
that same snap in his punches when he got back to his feet there.
Nurmagomedov to get that first round finish. Shalorus exerting it. It'll be interesting to hear the message in the red corner.
Okay, breathe for a second. Okay, empty your lungs.
There. Kind of a shovel hook there. Boom. Right on the button. And many times those are the ones that get you. It was accuracy.
Cover when you've been knocked down the way Shalorus was there in the first. And once again comes flailing in with that left hand, absorbs it into that big right hand.
Very impressed with the counter wrestling of Nurmagomedov. Again, coming from Dagestan, Russia, you got to think he's got some.
Nurmagomedov, you'd think a guy who came to the United States shortly after bad way and has wanted it for quite some time, despite being just 23 years old.
UFC, this has been his dream, like every fighter, and this kid's trying to move in his side mount. Nurmagomedov needs it. Here he is with that double threat. Not only is he trying to advance his position, but he's also efficient way, most devastating way to advance your position. It's not just
Nurmagomedov trying to move across that right leg, and Mario Jan of this lightweight battle between Shalorus and Nurmagomedov on paper, and at least in the early going, Nurmagomedov.
It's hard to know what kind of competition that is. Shalorus, I mean, when's the last time we've seen Shalorus out-wrestle, John?
Done against him back in March of 2011, but there's a reason.
You know, the coaches were very big on Nurmagomedov, work ethic, his technique, and they
the U.S. such a short time, you know, hard not to be impressed with what you've
constantly working his hips, ground and pound. Turnover, but thought he was going to switch into a
gaining momentum and confidence in the matchup as this fight continues to go.
He's obviously much bigger, especially in the upper body. He's much.
And once again, it seems as though Shalorus not really putting any combinations.
Trying to counter Shalorus, and there he is going for crazy techniques. He mixes. I'm sure that's confusing Shalorus a little bit. Uppercuts and hooks, John. Very impressive.
Yeah, that uppercut certainly. So for Kamal, Shalorus hasn't fought in 10 months. We'll see what the message is here.
Okay, you're behind on points.
That's the last one?
He has a few takedowns. Now, use the cross to the body. He drops. Use the cross to the body. Single. Cross, switch, single.
This is the last one?
One more.
When your fighter asks twice if this is the third.
Go to the body with his.
There you go. Last round. You ready?
With his cross, come up with the. This is a big round for Shalorus. He's gonna have to do
here tonight, and at least the first 2 rounds are an indication that perhaps there is.
That is due to his opponent, who's countering very well, doing very well, very technical countering.
Looks like a single leg. Nurmagomedov having none of it.
I tell you what, on your butt. I mean, this guy finishes takedowns and not able to.
Now working on a guillotine.
And look at that single leg takedown from positioning, and you could see him slipping out. Probably gonna ease out.
Big hammer fist there.
You gotta be impressed with the conditioning though. Bad news for Shalorus, and
so the UFC and US debut for Khabib Nurmagomedov.
What a debut for Nurmagomedov. Again with a great rear naked choke. Here he is pressing Shalorus, tried to turn his back, but that only opened up a rear naked choke.
And Shalorus, not an easy guy to finish. Submitted here tonight for the first time. Improves to 17-0. You better learn Fuel TV. Editors, it is UFC prelims on Fuel TV.
Mario Yamasaki's called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 8 seconds.
To the United States, Khabib Nurmagomedov, congratulations.
Спасибо всем, особенно теннис. Мне очень
All the fans, I want to thank UFC. It's very professional. I love it here. Как ты закончил этот бой? Расскажи нам немножко об этом бое.
И в конце, как мы работали дома в Дагестане, как мы работали здесь.
I was working on it. I devised it with my father back in.
Any nerves whatsoever as you took to the octagon here tonight?
Ты нервничал?
Ведь победа может быть только от Всевышнего.
Thank you so much.
Well, your performance certainly didn't show it, ladies and gentlemen.